Hi, welcome back to Pokemon Reborn. I'm a stupid idiot, and this is actually recorded in post, because I had my microphone muted the entire time, but as you saw by that long grinding montage, like an hour long condensed into however long it is now, I did a lot of training, so Trush now has Acid Spray and Toxic Spikes, and I plan on using it at the beginning of the gym to set up Sonic Spikes. Yeah, that should be nice, and then, everyone else is just higher level. This is me going through the team again. I decided to add Kricketune instead of using Grubbin because Grubbin's kind of not good right now, you know, because it's just a Grubbin. But Kricketune, I wasted my ability capsule on it. Hopefully it wasn't that much of a waste because I was told that I can buy them at some point. But either way, I used my ability capsule on it. It's Technician now. And if you don't really know how you're supposed to use Kricketune, you're actually supposed to evolve it at level 16, not level 10, because that's when it evolves level 10. But if you wait until 16, it gets Bug Bite, and with Bug Bite, Technician is really strong. So it also has Fury Cutter and Struggle Bug, two other moves that it can actually use with Technician to be, you know, decent good attacks. So, and its special attack isn't even that much lower than its physical attack, so yeah, I can use Struggle Bug, that's also. Yeah, it's just a good Pokemon, and I thought it would be, you know, worth it for the early game. Obviously, Vikavoult's way better than Kricketune will ever be, but, you know, at least at this point in the game, since I'm not going to have a Charjabug or a Vikavoult anyway, I might as well just use this Kricketune. Yeah, so, it should come in handy. Let's see what else. What am I going over right now? God, this is so annoying, because I just found out that I forgot to, turn my mic off of muted because I had it muted for the grinding montage, and I forgot to unmute it when I stopped. So yeah, that's what happened. Rosemary didn't really evolve yet because it didn't have enough friendship, so it's still a Badoo. Unfortunately, I didn't want to over level it too much, so yeah, I didn't want to get to be like level 22 while everyone else is like 15. Mitzi now has Pursuit, which is kind of an okay attack, I guess. It's better than using Fairy Swipes, so yeah, that's it. And I changed Zany's name to Zebediah. I know it's like a male name, kind of, because it's supposed to be based off of Jebediah, but I thought Zebediah was funny, so I named it Zebediah anyway. The gym trainers themselves aren't super eventful, so I just lead with Trush, hopefully getting, you know, hoping to get a couple more levels on it before I fight the gym leader. You know, we don't have that much to do. That's why I did a bunch of grinding beforehand. There's not that many trainers in here, and each of them only have like 1 or 2 Pokemon, so it's a good thing I did all that grinding beforehand, because these guys definitely didn't level me up all that much. The pad that I'm talking to is kind of explaining to the gym to me. She explains that there's 6 Pokemon on each team, and then they use special fields, which we already kind of knew, but, you know, they just go into a little bit more detail about it, I guess. The gym trainers use a lot of electric-type Pokemon, obviously, since this is an electric gym, and a lot of them have stuff like Sonic Boom and Self-Destruct, so I did have to be a little bit careful, but, you know, mostly these Voltorb don't do all that much damage to me, aside from Sonic Boom, so it wasn't really that big a deal. Luckily, I have Rosemary and Viola as powerful Pokemon to back me up in times of danger, so, you know, I wasn't really that worried about anything. Viola's Technician boosted Bug Bite hasn't failed to one-shot anything it's come across so far, so, you know, that's a good thing. The gimmick of this gym is to grab those Voltorb and use them to destroy the gates so you can get through. It's pretty straightforward. It's basically just beat each trainer once and then move to the next gate. It's not super complicated of a puzzle or anything. The rest of the trainers go by pretty uneventful, so I'm just gonna skip through it. I guess we'll just go straight to Julian now. I made sure to give everyone items that they could use, like Trubbish is holding an Orange Berry so that it can set up the Toxic Spikes at the beginning without dying, hopefully. I gave Badoo, you know, the Rose Incense. I gave an Orange Berry to my Purloin just because it's unburdened and also just because I had nothing else to give it. I'm actually not holding an item on Esper because it has Covet, and I was hoping to steal a good item from something else. And the Elemental Seed went to Blitzel, which gives a bonus defense and gives you a charge boost, thanks to the electric terrain that's gonna be up. And then I gave Kricketune what did I give Kricketune? I gave it the Cherry Berry so it wouldn't get Thunder Wave. So here I am just going over the effects of electric terrain again, so that I can, you know, keep in mind what might happen and what might happen when and where. So yeah, I just bring myself back up to speed with that, and then I start the battle. Following her introduction, it's finally time to face on Julia. I do lead with Trubbish, like I said, so I can set up Toxic Spikes. Mine, I feel like isn't too much of a threat to me, so I just click Toxic Spikes without really thinking. He goes for Charge Beam, which does quite a bit of damage. Luckily, he doesn't get the special attack boost, or the next one would have killed me, and I wouldn't have gotten the second Toxic Spikes off. So I managed to get that off and swatch out so that Trush wouldn't die. I go into my Blitzall so that it gets the Motor Drive boost, and also activates its Seed to get a charge boost. Yeah, so I'm plus speed and plus defense now, and I can just go for Shockwave. I do consider for a moment this Minun might have Lightning Rod, but I end up taking the risk anyway. Luckily, it's static, I assume, so it can't absorb that Shockwave. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to touch it, and I'd be forced to swap out, which would have been bad. I should have thought about that beforehand, but this Minun can't touch me with really anything now. It's stuck using just Quick Attack, and we can just Shockwave it to death. That's one Pokemon down. I did use up my Seed already. Next comes Voltorb. I decided to switch because I didn't really want to try to Shockwave it to death, especially if it had Sonic Boom, because that would pass through my defense boost anyway, and it'd be a huge pain to kill. So instead I go into... What am I going to? I'm watching this in real time. I go into Viola so that I can attempt to just one-shot it. Because like I said, Viola does huge damage, so I was confident a Bug Bite would take care of Voltorb, especially since it's toxic poison. It was Aftermath as well, which could be a problem because I do know that she has an Electrode. We saw it before. In comes Oricorio. I decided to swap because that sounds like a huge threat. Oricorio's Revelation Dance shouldn't be boosted by the Electric Terrain since it's a Flying type. So, you know, I'd only have to worry about the Flying type moves, but the only thing I have that was this Flying anyway is Zebediah, so I just go into Zebediah, since I can Shockwave without it being not very effective. I decided to go for Charge to get my special defense boosted, because under this terrain it actually doubles the power of Charge, so I get +2 special defense every time I click Charge. So I decided to set up a little bit more to protect against its attacks. It went for Air Cutter, and instead of attacking it I actually heal, because I'm worried about the Air Cutter critting me next turn, killing me with Zebediah. So to be safe we just healed, and then I went for another Charge. I'm now +4 special defense, so all it can really do is use Pound while I just Shockwave it. It takes 2, and Zebediah does take a lot of damage, but we do come out of it with +4 special defense. And Zebediah's learning Flame Charge, which will give it an actual move to hit stuff that might have Lightning Rod here, which was a great thing to get. In comes Geodude, and because of that, since I don't have my defense boosts anymore, I decided to switch because Smackdown is actually boosted by the Electric Terrain, as we saw in the field notes. So I do decide to just switch into Rosemary. I didn't really have anything else to hit Geodude, and I was just gonna hope that Mega Drain would take care of it before it blew up or something, which it does, thankfully. Second to last Pokemon is Plusle. I don't really have anything to switch to at the moment, so I'll just stay in with Rosemary because I didn't really see any reason to leave. The Mega Drain doesn't do all that much damage, but it's enough since it's also poison. With Plusle gone, the last Pokemon coming in is Electrode, I know for sure. Which could be a huge problem because it not only might blow up, but it also has stuff like Sonic Boom and maybe Supersonic, so I wanted to be kinda careful. In the end, since Rosemary's still full health, I decided to just stay in and figure it's my best bet against Electrode, and I just hope that it doesn't try to explode. Especially since it's her last Pokemon. It just wouldn't make sense for it to blow up, right? So I just go ahead and click Mega Drain. Sonic Boom obviously does a lot of damage, but Sonic Boom does exactly 20, so I can just heal spam to keep her from damaging me, and hope that she doesn't try to go for an electric type move. I consider switching to Zebediah, but it wasn't going to survive the Sonic Boom anyway, and switching it to anyone else would be certain death against any of its other attacks, so I decided to just use potions until it dies from Toxic. At this moment, I almost feel like I overtrained for this, but I was warned by like 5 different people that this gym would be a huge, massive threat, so I was like, okay, bet, I'm gonna train for an hour to make sure that I can actually fight this gym. So I don't regret it. I don't even think I was that overleveled, except for Rosemary, obviously, but everyone else was pretty much on par. It's just, I was prepared for this gym. If I didn't have Blitzel to tank the charge beaming Minun from the beginning, it would have overwhelmed me easily, but thankfully I had something immune to electric, not just resistant to it, because even if I was using Badoo against that Plusle, if it got too many charge beams off, I'd still be screwed, so, you know, great thing right there. So now that we have the badge, we can get Pokemon up to level 25 without them misbehaving, and she also gives us charge beam, which is really nice. And she falls asleep immediately after we beat her. Luckily, I can teach Charge Beam to Misses and to Blitzel. I decided to get rid of Tail Whip or Leer on Misses, and I get rid of Charge instead of... I get rid of Charge for Charge Beam. I figured Charge could still be useful considering it actually did come in handy during the gym, but overall, Charge Beam, you know, special attack boost is just better than temporary boost, so I decided to just go for Charge Beam instead. Getting this badge also lets us use the TM for Cut during outside of battle, which we don't actually have yet, but I wanted to mention that it's a TM because we can actually delete it when we teach it to a Pokemon. Like, we're not stuck with it, so that's a nice thing to know. It's just it's like an HM, but we can actually get rid of it, so that's something that makes me really happy, and I won't really mind using Cut all that much. Since we've beaten the gym, Victoria shows up and tells us that there's plants coming to life in Obsidia Ward, so that's obviously the next place we're meant to go. She runs off to the Obsidia Ward, and we're pretty much done with the first gym. Well, pretty much. We are done with the first gym, and the next gym is coming up after we save the town from killer plants. In the end, I took a quick trip back to the Pokemon Center just so I don't forget to heal at the start of the next episode, and we end it here. So yeah, thanks for watching, make sure to like and subscribe, and next time, I won't have my mic muted the entire time and have to do this afterwards. Goodbye.